up, fight fans? Welcome to another episode of 4 Fight 6. And today we're going down under for Volkanovski versus Lopez 2. If Volkanovski goes into deep waters and manages to win this fight against Lopez, then he will be tied with Jose Aldo for the most defenses in the 145-pound division. So for us fight fans in South Africa, nothing has changed, ladies and gentlemen. We will be up at 4 a.m. for this fight card. But I'll tell you what, I might be up even earlier than that because there's a few fights in the prelims that I might stay up and watch. Typically, fighters have about a 31-hour window period to rehydrate post-weigh-in. But this time around, because it's in Aussie, the fighters will have 42 hours to rehydrate, which will potentially affect the power, the cardio, and the finishing rate on this fight card. So let's see how that goes in. So guys, the first fight in our main card is Quaylen Salkid, I hope I pronounced that correct, versus Jamie Mullarkey. And Salkid coming in the lightweight division with 10-1, 4 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 5 first-round finishes. I'm telling you guys, this guy is nothing to play with, man. Sakil is a huge favorite. I'm sure you've seen that clip that's been trending where John Anik says something like,
his parents put him in training because he was overweight, but they own a bakery.
That meme, they were talking about this guy. He is vicious, bro. So guys, Mullarkey is really trying to make his name in the UFC. He won his previous fight, but he did lose against Mauricio Rufi, who is also on this fight card. And he did lose against Haqparast, who was actually beat by Salkid. So it will be interesting to see how this fight goes. The next fight we're going to be looking into is the heavyweight bout, and that's Tai Tuivasa versus Thaleson Teixeira. I think this is going to be a banger, man. I think this is going to be a banger, and I'll tell you why. I think because Tai Tuivasa is on such a losing streak, this might potentially be the last time that we see him in the UFC. Tai Tuivasa has lost 5 times in a row coming into this fight. He knows that he cannot afford to lose this fight. The UFC has a policy, and 5 fights is where they draw the line. So I think we're looking at a Tai Tuivasa who is coming in to finish this fight, a Tai Tuivasa who knows what's on the line and knows that he cannot afford to lose this one. But he's going up against Teixeira. Teixeira is a beast. He is very calculated. He has a lot of combos that he throws in there as a heavyweight. He's one of the guys that actually combines those combos really well, and he sets you up really well. Not to forget the fact that he has the reach against Tai Tuivasa, right? Another thing is that when you're fighting a shorter guy like Tai Tuivasa who has so much power, you need to look out for that overhook, right? Tai Tuivasa coming in number 12 ranked, and Teixeira coming in at number 15th ranked. So Teixeira really coming in to try and take that number 12 spot, and Tuivasa basically fighting for his fight career right now, in the UFC at least. Next fight we're going to be looking at is Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Rufi. You know that hypothetical question where they ask you, which fighter do you think you'd survive with 5 minutes in the octagon? Bro, Rafael Fiziev is the last guy I would ever want to find myself in a predicament with, bro. I'm telling you, man. This guy kicks with no damn remorse. You know, if you're in the way of that body kick or any of his kicks, you're in danger, man. And he's going up against Mauricio Rufi. And let me tell you, if there's a tactician in the UFC, someone who can really break it down and someone who I would put in the top 5 technical ability in the UFC, that's Mauricio Rufi. Another thing that I was shocked to see is that Mauricio Rufi has kind of given the fight nerds a break for now and gone and trained with Volkanovski. I think he's trying to get his wrestling game up. It's not a bad idea. And everyone says that his wrestling game has really gone up. And I think that he won't really have much of a problem stuffing Fiziev's takedowns if ever it gets to that point. Dan Hook is one of the guys where I don't really care if he wins the fight. I know it sounds crazy, but like with Dan Hooker, you know that as soon as he gets into that octagon, he is going to put on everything in there, bro. Like he just enjoys fighting. Like he's one of the guys that when he says it, I actually believe it, because he really enjoys fighting and he doesn't mind taking a beating. He doesn't mind having a brawl in there and leaving in there bloody. In fact, that's almost kind of what he wants. So that makes him a very dangerous fighter for anyone. Saint Denis won his previous fight against Mauricio Rufi which really showed that he's really taking this thing seriously. He's also changed fight camps, and he's in a different fight camp, new head coach. So let's see how that goes and how far that takes him. So guys, the main event of the evening, that's Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. So the first one was a bit close, but I did see what the judges saw. I really think Volkanovski did deserve to win that fight. The thing that I really found interesting is the fact that Diego Lopez had such a quick turnaround time to be fighting for this belt again. He literally just fought Jean Silva and got away with that fight, and now he's back at it trying to fight Volk for the championship belt again. The first fight was really interesting. We saw a lot of volume from Volk. Like he said, champions really put on the pressure. He is the favorite to win this fight, but I'll be honest with you, man. From the previous fight, Volk really looked tired toward the end of that fight. Sure, it could have had a lot to do with that punch that landed in the eye where he couldn't really see much. But I'm telling you, man, I felt like Volk really left everything he had in that fight. I don't really know if he has a lot more to put into this coming fight. I wouldn't be shocked to see Diego Lopez trying to take this fight more to the ground. He stood up a bit more with Volk in the first one, and I was expecting him then to go down, and I think maybe that's what he needs to change in the strategy. Sure, he's not Islam Makhachev, but I think he might stand a better chance doing that. I really hope that Lopez studied the first fight and came in and made some adjustments to it, because I really think he has a good chance at winning this title the second time around. I will say though, guys, imagine if this was Jean Silva versus Alexander Volkanovski. I think that's the fight I really would have loved to see. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go through my fight picks for UFC 325. So the first fight we're going to be looking into in the lightweight bout is Quaylen Salkild versus Jamie Mullarkey, and I think Quaylen will take that one. For the next heavyweight bout that we're going to be looking into, Tai Tuivasa versus Tyson Teixeira. I think Teixeira is going to take that one. Tai Tuivasa is a very fun fighter, and I'd really love to see more of him in the UFC. But unfortunately, Teixeira, I think he's going to take that one. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Rufy. I think Rufy's going to take this fight. I think he'll come in a bit more strategic and know to keep his distance against Rafael Fiziev. I hope the wrestling really comes in handy for him. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. I think Saint Denis takes that one. Okay, guys, look, to be honest, I hate to say this, but I think Diego Lopez is going to take this fight. But deep down, I really hope Volk takes it and ties Jose Aldo and takes on the next fight and really becomes Alexander the Great Volkanovski. So guys, that is all from me. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of 4 Fight 6. This has been UFC 325, and I'm looking forward to that fight card at 4 a.m. this morning. Drop a comment, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Do what you gotta do. But let's get talking, man. Cheers. That's it from me. Bye.